The Guinness Book of Records is a very entertaining reading of the free fall, the incredible tightrope walker, and the French Spiderman. All this is very interesting and surprising. Here are 12 of the records in the world. Maybe you cannot believe that it really was. The inception of the Guinness World Records started with a good, old-fashioned argument. In 1951, Sir Hugh Beaver found himself in passionate disagreement concerning the speed of game birds. At this moment, when Sir Hugh Beaver realized he had no way of knowing which bird was truly the fastest, the first seed of the Guinness World Records was planted. The Guinness World Records are still getting stronger day by day. People from all around the globe try their hand at some of the world's most reputable records. Today, we have prepared the top 12 Guinness World Records for you. If you like these types of videos, please subscribe and give us a like, because we got more cool top 12s coming up. So let's go. Number 1. The woman who was giving birth for 3 months. Her name is Maria Elliott. It's unexpected, but some births have been entered into the Guinness Book of Records. One of them is the birth of twins 87 days apart. This period is almost 3 months. It's the longest gap between the natural birth of twins in the history of humankind. The children's mother is 34-year-old Maria Jones Elliott, who lives in Ireland. The first child was a girl. Her name is Amy. 24 weeks later, the second child was born. Her name is Katie. Also, they entered school together in 2017. Both girls have survived. Number 2. Restraining 4 motorcycles. His name is Franz Muellner. He lives in Australia. He is called Austrian Rock. Every strong person has their own character traits, but there are some that stand out more than others. Everyone has their own definition of a strong person. Some people say you are strong because you didn't cry, but most of the people may define people as strong by their physical strengths. So he decided that the best way to showcase his strength to restrain with 4 motorcycles physically. Each bike was attached to one of his limbs, and the professional riders got a chance to do what they do best. They ensure that each motorbike exceeded 500 newtons of force. The strength it took to restrain the motorcycles was incredible. But he managed to take it a step further than anyone expected. He only needed to restrain the bikes for 10 seconds to get the world record, but he managed to hold them back for 24 seconds. Number 3. Largest gathering of people. What started as a thing among nerds quickly spread to other places, gathering of people dressed up as Albert Einstein. Soon larger and larger crowds gathered to break old records and make new ones. The current record is held by 541 students from 5 schools in South Morang, Australia. The record was set in celebration of Science Week on 16th August 2018. Number 4. The incredible tightrope walker. His name is Nicholas Wallenda. Like many other record holders, Nicholas had become interested in the subject of his future record when he was a child. His parents joined a circus, so they helped him to walk the tightrope for the first time. But he became interested in tightrope walking and records when his family had set a Guinness record. From that moment, he began to actively engage in sports. To a wider audience, he's known as the first man who walked the tightrope over Niagara Falls. After walking, he said that the most complex thing was getting permission from the USA and Canada to cross the border. Nowadays, Nicholas Wallenda is the holder of 6 Guinness World Records. Number 5. The French Spiderman. His name is Alain Robert. He always liked to climb to different heights. At the age of 12, Alain climbed to the 8th floor of the house, where he lived when he forgot the keys to his apartment. Also, Robert was always interested in rock climbing. But he isn't well known for his success in rock climbing. Many people know him as someone who can climb famous buildings without any safety equipment. For more than 20 years of trying, Alain had climbed to sites such as the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the Eiffel Tower, the Sydney Opera House, and the Petronas Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur, and the Sears Tower in Chicago. Number 6. The Amphibian Man. His name is Alex Segura. He is a professional freediver, a Spaniard and multiple world champion. As a child, he was fond of diving and swimming in the sea. So Alex trained diligently. Taking a great interest in other sports, he was able to achieve incredible results. His finest hour came on the 28th of February 2016. Segura held his breath for 24 minutes and 3.45 seconds. After this significant event, Alex said, "I am happy to set this Guinness World Record because it involved not only me in freediving, but also the work of many other people. This remains a spectacle and experimental field rather than true freediving as a sport, which is what we all care about, but I hope it can be interesting and entertaining for people." Number 7. Optimum. Her name is Nadia Suleiman. She was born in Fullerton, California. She is the only child of Angela Victoria Suleiman. She received a BS in child development and worked for a state mental hospital for 3 years. It's hard to be a mother of many children, but becoming one of them in one moment is much more difficult. In January 2009, 33-year-old Nadia Suleiman gave birth to 8 children at one time. All children survived, and this was the only time when all children remained healthy. In social media, Nadia got the name Optimum. It is very complex for a single mother to care for 8 children, but despite the difficulties, she coped. Now she says that her children are her life. Suleiman quickly captured the public eye with the birth of octuplets. Within the first week, the media dubbed her Optimum. Number 8. Mr. Guidol. His name is Michel Lotito. He was a well-known French entertainer who was famous because of his incredible ability to eat metal, glass, rubber, and other inedible materials. During his performances, he ate bicycles, shopping carts, TV sets, chandeliers, and many other things. Lotito had his metal lunch for 2 years. Doctors determined that he also had a thick lining in his stomach and intestines, allowing him to consume sharp metal without suffering any injury. Researchers estimate that Lotito had eaten more than 9 tons of metal from 1959 to 1997. Number 9. Buried alive. His name is Zdeněk Zoráka. He is a Czech fakir and magician. He's famous for a trick that was set in the Guinness Book of Records. In 2004, Zdeněk spent 10 days buried alive in a wooden coffin. The only thing that connected him with the outside world was the tube with which he breathed. All this time, the man was without food and water but survived. Number 10. Man who holds the most Guinness World Records. His name is Ashrita Furman. Having set over 700 records since 1979, he currently holds a little more than 200 standing Guinness World Records. One of his records is the record for the most records held at a given time. Ashrita's journey started with his spiritual awakening, learning meditation under Sri Chinmoy. His inspiration drove him to train rigorously and set records in hundreds of activities involving physical feats of endurance. Some of his records include 27,000 jumping jacks, longest continuous somersaulting 12 miles, 390 yards, pogo stick underwater jumping 3 hours, 40 minutes, carrying a brick with one hand for the longest distance, 85 miles, etc. Number 11. Amazing drift. A driving instructor called Schwartz set a world record for continuous drift. Such records do exist, but what Schwartz accomplished simply defies comprehension. He drifted in a BMW M5 in a circle for 8 hours. Straight 8 hours to set the record, BMW came up with a custom fuel system capable of refueling the car mid-drift. A second BMW M5 with an additional fuel tank had to start drifting together with Schwartz. The stuntman suspended himself from the rear passenger window to connect and hold the fuel line to the filler. The refueling was done 5 times in 8 hours, and Schwartz drifted roughly 374 kilometers, which is 210 kilometers more than the previous record. Number 12. The Iceman. His name is Wim Hof. He's a Dutch extreme athlete. He's famous for his ability to withstand freezing temperatures. Wim says that he achieved such results thanks to the method. The method is the complex of actions that allows him to control his respiratory and immune systems. Wim teacher in cold water, which according to his words, has taught him how to cope with pain. Wim has set 16 records for the longest time on the ice. His best result was 1 hour 53 minutes and 2 seconds. Also in 2009, Wim reached the peak of Kilimanjaro, which is located at an altitude of 5,895 meters above sea level wearing only shorts. And that's all. In this video, we talked about 12 world records. Which record holder surprised you the most? What is the most exciting record for you? Let us know in the comments and remember to subscribe and hit that bell if you like this kind of stuff. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.